Hey guys, ladies and germs and gentlemen and so forth. It's Alex Ray. Welcome to the latest episode of Can I Kick It podcast with your boy, Austin Sprinkle.
What's up, what's up?
Me and Austin go back like car seats. I've been friends with him since he was 12 or so.
Yeah,
or 13-ish.
Yeah, probably was like 12 or 13 when we first met.
Yeah, shout out to Austin Ray for introducing us. You were basically like family, man, and
yeah,
pretty quickly too. I mean, you knew Mary Lou. I mean, you sang at her funeral.
Yeah.
Did the Tyler Childers song, and dude, nobody's really talked about it, at least on a podcast, at least. But that couldn't have been a more appropriate song for my Aunt Mary Lou.
Really though, I came across that song. That was right whenever Mary Lou was getting pretty bad. Like she had just gotten pretty sick, and I remember I was driving, and it came on because I had gotten into a really big Childers kick, and I had been listening to that Purgatory
it's hard
album
not to when you first hear that.
Dude,
guy.
I know.
Yeah.
And as soon as Follow You to Virgie came on, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like to a T explaining like what I grew up like doing, and how she sat and watched that, because there's that line in there, where and I can see her sitting in the corner singing along to All Our Crazy Dreams, you know, like, and that's back whenever I was young, younger. I'm still young. I'm only 23, but I forget that sometimes.
You're an old soul, brother.
But no, like I remember hearing that line, and it like took me back to so many memories of. Because Mary Lou was around whenever I was like first learning how to play guitar and all that stuff, and like starting to dive into songwriting and all of that. And there's that line going into the second verse where it says, back when all us boys were trying to make sense of all these strings. And that was me and Austin, like trying to learn how to play together and stuff like that. Like, and you too, man. I mean, there was many nights over at Eddie's, and where we just be freestyling and stuff, and sitting down and just coming up with whatever came to our heads, man.
Drinking beer and just getting it, dude.
Yeah.
And man, I don't know. So that meant a lot to our family that you came and played that specific song. Yeah. If you haven't heard that song, check it out, y'all.
Great song.
Follow You to Virgie by Tyler Childers. Yeah, so you were at the funeral, and I mean, you couldn't ask for a better person to play at the funeral, you know? Yeah. And you played Mary Lou Goodbye Heart as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, back then, I knew when I first heard your voice when you were singing in the car, I was like, this kid's gonna, or at least he has the ability to make it. Yeah. And here we are, and Leaving Knox is one of the biggest bands in the tri-state area. You know?
I was gonna say we're doing really good around here locally, and starting to pop off. We're finally on like a bunch of local radio stations and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool, man. It's cool to see like how things have grown over time and all that. I mean, like, cause we've only been together for 4 years now. Like, we've only been playing music for 4 years.
Has it been 4 years already?
Yeah, it's been 4 years already, man. I had a thing come up on my on my Snapchat memories the other day that was like, 4 years ago today you played this show, and I was like, damn, that was our very first show we ever played. And
dude, I mean, how has it been? What have you noticed? I've always wondered this about bands. Like, have you noticed the growth? I don't know what better word to use, but is it a gradual thing? You guys getting bigger? I mean, it became very clear at the Electric River Jam when you guys were on stage, because a lot of people didn't even show up. No disrespect to the other bands, everybody did a great job.
Yeah, everybody did awesome.
A lot of people showed up just to see you guys. I mean, they showed up at that time of the night. Like, they heard that you were going on at, what was it, 10 or something?
Yeah, around 10 o'clock, yeah.
I mean, was that a moment where it just hit you like, man, this is turning into something?
Yeah, I've had a few of those moments in the past couple years. Started really having that back in like 2018, 2019, whenever we started playing more locally and doing stuff around here. We did a show, the very first time that I was like, wow, this could actually be something, was we did a show at the Bruceville Rod and Gun Club back in like, I think it was 2018. We had been a band for about a year, and we decided to put on our own local show because we had never done a local show yet. So we hit up the Bruceville Rod and Gun Club, asked them if we could get the get their little area to rent that out so that we could have a show
So
there.
you're treating it as a venue.
Yeah, so we treated
as
it,
opposed to like a bar gig.
Yeah. We treated it like an actual, like, you know, an event, like an actual event. Like, that's what we were going for.
Not to cut you off, but like, that's when the music biz becomes the biz part, not just the music.
Yeah.
You know, when you start booking venues and stuff. I got a little taste of it with the Electric River Jam.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any previous experience, really, did you?
No, I actually, see, I was very, very green. Yeah, I was very, very green. Well, even in the, like, playing live side, too, I was extremely green coming into it. It wasn't until I got with the guys I'm with now that I started actually, like, going and playing live places. Like, I had never really done that before. Like, I had done the occasional, like, high school talent show or, like, you know, so like yeah. Well, I hadn't even done like bar gigs yet. Like, I hadn't even been doing that stuff yet. Well, yeah, I was only, I mean, see, when we first started the band, I was like 18, getting ready to turn 19, and we, like, little did all the bars know that we played at. They had no idea that I was that young. They all thought I was older. Luckily, because I can grow a little bit of facial hair and had long hair. Yeah, but
everybody
just always thought I was older. So I would, you know, they would let us come and play wherever. We'd never tell them how old I was. And but yeah, no, it wasn't until, like I was saying, with the Bruceville Rod and Gun Club, we had just put out a single. It was called Beast. I don't know if you remember that. That's been a while ago. But we put that song out, and
what was the premise of that song?
The premise of that song, pretty much.
You wrote the lyrics, right?
I wrote the lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote the lyrics to that one. The premise of that song was pretty much just like a. Okay, so the main chorus was. Most just sign away, but not me, not today. Demanding me to cut my hair and shave, but not me, not today. I'm not gonna be your slave.
So I heard the earlier version of that idea.
Yeah, you heard,
Mark
you were
of the
around.
Beast. We called it Mark of the Beast. I remember when you basically revealed that for the first time. We were sitting out at Rick's pool house, and I've got it recorded. It's on my Google Drive.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging on to that.
Dang, dude, that's been forever ago.
Down the road,
but yeah, so we dropped that single, and we decided to plan a local show, you know, with the Bruceville Rod and Gun Club, because we'd been playing in Clarksville, Tennessee. That's where we had, like, done our first couple shows and stuff, and we had been a band, like I said, for almost a year before we started playing local. Well, we set that show up, and we were expecting, like, you know, maybe 100 people show up. We would have been ecstatic if only 100 people showed up. So we get there, we start setting everything up, and I was running. Town? Do what?
Is Clarksville a larger town, or what size?
Clarksville's like,
I don't know much about
it's a decent sized city. It's like the size of Evansville, maybe a little bit bigger. Fort Campbell's there, or
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like one of the biggest military bases in
so
the
really
United
it's
States.
Kentucky, Tennessee, kind of like pretty damn close.
Yeah. It's like it's about an hour away from Nashville. It's not. Yeah, it's about an hour away from Nashville. It's about like
so it was
3
sort of a backdoor into Nashville, maybe. Perhaps?
It was more of just the whole reason why I was bringing it up was it's more or less it was like people around here were hearing that we were playing out of state, and they were like, well, who are they? They're like, we've never seen them live, like we've never even like heard any of their stuff. Then we dropped that single, and a bunch of people started listening to it, and it started getting a little bit of traction, and it was like. It was okay. Like, our production was all right. We've developed a lot more since then. I mean, you guys you've watched us grow like that. But we so
I knew Tyler from other bands, so Tyler's always involved in the best shit around here. So.
See, so we were. I remember I was at this little, like, you know, ticket booth or whatever you want to call it. It was selling tickets for people to get in, and this was in Bruceville.
Selling your own tickets.
Yeah. So I was sitting there, like, people would come to the door. They, I think we were charging like $10 at the door or something like that. And doors opened at 7, and the first band was to go on at like 8 or 8:30. By 7:30, there was already like 200 people there.
Oh, wow.
And we thought only like 100 people were going to show up. And so we were just kind of like, all right, this is crazy. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is kind of wild. And then as the night kept going, like, it kept getting closer and closer to the time that we were getting ready to go on. And it was like, I think it was 10, like, I think we went on at like 10 o'clock or something like that, either 10 or 10:30. And whenever we went on, by the time that we finally went on, dude, there was like, I want to say there was about 400 people there, 450 people there. And
So it was about the same as the Electric River Jam?
Yeah, it was about. It was literally. It was in that little room. Like the room, like the room's literally the size like of this. Like it was literally the size of this. This space that we're in right now. And we had like 350, almost 400 people there. And that was just from the tickets that we sold. We didn't count officially how many people actually showed up because we stopped selling tickets because we all had to go on because we were the ones selling the tickets. So we had to stop and then go play and all that stuff and then get everything riled up. But the reason I'm telling this story is because the moment that I was like, we could do something with this. We started playing Beast.
Way to bring it back.
We started playing Beast, dude, and I'm getting chills thinking about it. But when we started playing it, half of the crowd that was there was singing it word for word.
That's a
first
big
time
deal.
I've ever experienced that, and like it was just a dumbfounding experience. Like because when you put out something, you're like, hopefully people will listen to it.
Hopefully
and
it reaches someone.
Hopefully it reaches someone. And then whenever you actually hear them like singing it back to you, you're just like, holy shit, dude! Like this is insane.
There's potential.
This something could come out of this, and that wasn't, in my personal opinion, that was like some of my least favorite stuff that we've made so far. Like that was our very first song we ever made together. That was the song.
Not to put it down or anything.
Not to put it down because I love the song. Like I love the lyrics of
You're
it.
gonna go back and listen to it later in life and be like, my favorite band, Modest Mouse. I'll listen to their old stuff and it's not as developed. But it's still my favorite stuff.
That stuff they put out back in like 97, 98 and shit. Yeah.
Like Everywhere in His Nasty Partridge and that kind of thing. So how did you meet these guys? I mean, I know.
So
were you pulling for talent, or I mean?
Well, what happened was my buddy Eric Kimmel, shout out Kimmel. I was hanging out with him one day because I used to. So I'm gonna talk about this because I know you really don't care. But we had an agreement. As long as I came over and played music, he would smoke me out for free every single time I came over there. As long as I came and I brought my guitar and played.
That wacky tobacco.
Wacky tobacco, yeah. Devil's lettuce. But we were. He would just constantly have me come over and I'd play. Well, there's this dude that he met, and the guy's name was Jimmy Wilkins.
I know Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah. So Jimmy was our original drummer. Me and Jimmy originally started the band.
So Jimmy Wilkins is the Pete Best.
Yeah,
that's the Beatles' original drummer.
I'm
kidding. Me and Jimmy are supposed to get together soon and work on some music. Actually.
Heck yeah, man, that'd be cool. But
wait.
I met Jimmy through Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel. He told me about Kimmel was telling me about. He was like, dude, yeah, there's this guy in Oaktown that Jimmy's been telling me about. He has a studio. He's a really talented musician, hell of a guitar player. Is going to school for audio engineering right now and has a pretty nice.
Stage left. Tyler Bynum.
Tyler Bynum. And this is where Tyler Bynum gets introduced to it. And one day, Jimmy hit me up and he was like, hey, dude. He's like, hey, man. You know how Jimmy talks. He's like, hey, man. Tyler's got some free time if you want to come over to my house and we can jam out, man. Just kind of see where it goes, Like, so I was like, hell yeah, dude. So I go over to, I think he was staying with his girlfriend at the time, and we go over to her house, and Tyler shows up, and I show them Beast. That was the very first song I ever showed him, and I started playing that, and Tyler had his guitar, and he was, doing like some stuff over top of it, and like we were just jamming out and having a great time. We probably jammed that song for like, probably like 10 minutes straight, dude, and like wasn't a single flaw, sounded freaking perfect. It was awesome. And then I remember
feeling alive.
Felt very alive. And I remember just looking at them, and Tyler looked at me and he's like, so would you want to start a band? I was like, absolutely. He's like, absolutely. I was like, absolutely. Yeah, I was like, yeah. And I'd been wanting to start a band for the past like 2 or 3 years prior to that, like before that.
I remember we tried to do some stuff, but I just wasn't.
Yeah, there was. There was a lot of people that I played with and that I was friends with, that played music, but nobody was really as and not to put you down, to put you down or anything. Nobody was as serious as what I was trying to take it, because like. Everybody else, I felt like anybody that I played with, they really viewed it more as like a hobby or something to do for fun. And me, I was like, this is what I want to do for a living. Like, this is what I want to get paid to do this. I want to make a career out of this. Like, I want this to be my life. Like, I want to travel. I want to play music all over the world. Like, this is what I want to do, And whenever I found Tyler and Jimmy, and then Mitch got introduced to it after me and Jimmy and Tyler had been practicing for a couple of months. and we started playing together, and we all kind of simultaneously were like, we really think we could do something with this, you know? So we started working on things and developing our sound and writing music, and things ended up not working out with Jimmy, so we ended up picking up Tyler Carlisle and having him come play. He started playing with us after we'd been together for about a year, and once he came in, like, I feel like once he came in, that's when things like really shifted, because he was with us whenever we played. I'm pretty sure he was with us whenever we played the first Bruceville show. Whenever we played, after we put out Beast and all that stuff, because he had learned our songs, and he started, you know, playing with us and stuff. And
Talking about Mitch?
No, Tyler Carlisle.
Oh, right.
Tyler Carlisle.
Sorry.
Yeah, Tyler Carlisle. But once he got in the band and we started really taking it seriously, and in I think it was 2019. It was 2019. We started getting offers to play for, like, you know, bigger names and stuff like that. Like, we opened for. Actually, no, it was 2018 that we opened for Saving Abel in Clarksville, Tennessee.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they had a couple big hits and stuff, and we played with them. And then after that,
so when you go, let me stop you there.
You're good, man. Go ahead.
So when you go to Clarksville and you open up and that's your first big show.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that like meeting the band? Were they friendly? Were they like? Were they helpful? They
were really cool guys. They were pretty nice guys, man. We were gonna work with their bass player at the time. I don't know if he's still playing bass for them or not. His name's Scott Wilson. We were gonna do some stuff with him, but we ended up kind of veering away from it because it was just a little too expensive for what we were trying to go for, and what we were hearing out of his studio, we could get out of our studio.
Because Tyler's a whiz.
Yeah, and he's amazing at that stuff. Like, and we can do it for free rather than having to pay. Like, I think he was wanting to charge us like $1,000 or $2,000 a song or something like that. Like, it was at the time.
So, to those people who are out there who are thinking about getting into music and stuff,
it's expensive.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you do not see coming, and these days with technology advancing like it is, you can do it at home. It's going to take you a while to learn.
Yeah.
All these recording programs and stuff, but I mean, do it yourself.
Yeah,
DIY.
I'm a very big advocate of trying to do it independent, man. I mean, because that's what we're doing right now. We're just doing independent releases and, you know, dropping our own stuff, so we don't have to worry about dealing with all of the bull crap of sharing masters or business side of it, because the business side of it is where it gets really tricky. But the sad truth about it is, man, with music, it's like 30% music and 70% business. Yeah. Like, it's the vast majority of very popular musicians or musicians that are doing very well for themselves, they're master marketers. They're very, very good at marketing.
Or they have a manager.
Or they have a manager or somebody on their team
is that something that
is
you
very good at marketing.
Have looked into, like having a manager, or you just...
Yeah, we've looked into it before, and we've thought about, like, there's been a few people that have come along the way that tried to kind of help us, you know, like as far as management goes. And what we constantly have seen and what it feels like is just we've never been able to find someone that has been as dedicated or as serious about it as we are. Like, we haven't found that one person that's like, you know, they want to invest. Yeah, they want to invest all of their time into getting our music off the ground. Like, and
that's got to be hard around Vincent's. I mean,
it's hard around here. I mean, it's really hard anywhere unless you. In all honesty, I feel like if we were gonna have a manager, like, it would have to be somebody who is a dedicated fan. It would have to be someone who is like has been a fan of our music for like years now, and literally just wants to do it because they want to see us succeed and they want to be a part of it.
I'm sure there's somebody out there. Hopefully they'll see this and.
Hey, if you're out there, hit us up. You can hit us up.
So anyway, I want to kind of reel it back here a little bit, because I'm all about leaving Knoxville. This interview is about you as a musician. This is about my friend Austin Sprinkle, who comes from a rough past. Let's just not even sugarcoat it. I mean, somehow you avoided the pitfalls of addiction and all these terrible things, and you just stayed a genuinely good guy, man. And like,
Thank you, man.
Like,
Thank you
for
that.
example, that song "The Beast" started as "Mark of the Beast."
Yeah.
That's what I have it saved on, and I listened to it later. Because while we were in the moment, I was trying to help you sing. I was like playing drums on my legs or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
what that we'd done so many of those, but
Yeah.
but that song was about growing up in a Pentecostal church, right?
Yeah, originally it was about my religious background and what I grew up in. So I grew up Apostolic Pentecostal.
Yeah.
A lot of my family, I have a lot of family that's still Apostolic Pentecostal, and they're still in that. I just, at a young age, I had always had questions, and I had always questioned it because there was like, we had to abide by this like standard that that's what they called it, the standard of like you have to be.
It's essentially a socialist agenda.
Even further than that. It's like I mean it was literally
like a communist,
I consider it like almost a cult. Like in all honesty, I mean like and no disrespect towards anybody that's a part of that, but like at the same there are great people. Like I grew up with a lot of
well, it's just like anything like even Freemasons, police, firefighters, there's good and bad people involved.
Well, I just started seeing there was a lot of ignorance. There was a lot of people that were just willfully ignorant. And I remember having a conversation with someone, and I'm not going to say who it was, but I was talking to this person, and they were kind of ripping into me about I had just gotten my ears pierced. Yeah. Like, and that was a big deal. Like, you could not get your ears pierced if you were a man or a woman, either way, because apparently I think it was like somewhere in the Old Testament or the New Testament, it talks about piercing the flesh and how mutilating the temple or piercing the flesh and how that was wrong in the eyes of God. Well, I started doing some research and I looked into that scripture, and not once does it's talking about cutting yourself. Yeah. It's talking about self-mutilation. It's talking about like actually stabbing yourself with something to hurt yourself. It's not talking about piercing your ears. It never once says piercing.
Well, I mean,
and there's a scripture
is an adornment of your body.
Exactly. And there's a scripture that actually talks about where Abraham he pierced his wife's ears and put earrings in her ears and jewelry on her neck, and the Lord said it was beautiful. Like, and I'm like, okay, I read that.
Go.
Yeah, exactly. I read that scripture to this person, and they were like, well, I only follow by what my minister says. And I was like, but doesn't the Bible say don't put your faith in any man, for a man will always fail you? Put your faith in God.
And that's the thing that most people don't talk about, dude, is like, okay, I have no problem with the Bible. I've studied the Bible.
Yeah,
I consider
me neither.
myself
Like,
a Christian.
I follow a lot of it, dude. There's a lot that I actually still follow to this day.
There,
There's some great lessons there.
But anyway, so the King James version of the Bible has been manipulated, and they toss out books. And
absolutely.
Like, and that's we're not going to turn this into like a Christian bashing thing.
No. I'm not trying to bash anyone.
I'm trying to get into your background.
Yeah.
So what age were you when this started to become apparent to you that this isn't what you wanted to be a part of?
I was I want to say I was like, I started questioning things when I was 13 years old, about 13, 14 years old. Yeah. And I remember one thing that really got to me was that at the church that we were going to, my dad had been a part of the praise ministry for years. Had been a part of it like ever since I'd been like walking, like first walking and stuff, like a little kid. And he started growing out facial hair. He started growing a beard. He wasn't clean cut. And they told him, they were like, hey, if you don't shave your beard, we can't use you. And then he started pulling up script. Yeah, we can't use you on the pulpit. And I was just like he started bringing up scriptures to them, like talking about how the Hebrews, the original Hebrews, like that they based their whole religion off of. If you were a Hebrew man and you cut your beard, like that was a big no-no in the eyes of God. Like that was a big no-no. Yeah, that's Old Testament, Old Testament law. And what I started diving more into that and like researching on my own and started realizing what they are telling me compared to what I am reading is not necessarily, I feel like, true.
Which makes you question their motives.
Yeah, and exactly. And I started questioning it very heavily.
It becomes a method of control.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I would argue that the Christian church pushed me away from God.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
I was going to say, if anything, that's what happened with me. I remember
negative reinforcement.
I just started, I remember being like, I was 15 whenever I officially left. Whenever I officially left the church, I started questioning things when I was 13. I officially
Were you
fully got
kicked
out.
or did you just stop going?
It was weird, bro. Okay, so like we had this instance where we left, and we started this this other church with these friends of ours that were a part of that. Were a part of that community as well, and they wanted to get away from it because they were just seeing all of the things that were kind of like, come on now, like really. So we started something with them, and when we started that with them, man, like I remember it broke my heart. I was out in public, and imagine you're like, 15 years old, and there's this minister that you've grown up around, and there's this family that you've grown up around, and you have looked up to them for years and years and years and years and years, and you've adored them for like a long time. Okay, I was at this store, and one of their kids came running up to me, and they were the youth ministers. One of their kids came running up to me and was like, "Hey, how are you doing? How's everything going?" And I was like, "I'm good. How are you doing, buddy?" And then his mom was standing kind of behind him. And she like waved him over, and I was like, "Hey!" And she literally looks right at me.
To a child.
Looks right at me. I was 15. I was 15 years old. Looks me dead in the eye. Does not acknowledge me. Turns away and ignores me. Ignores me. And say like it broke my heart, dude. Right. Like that crushed me.
Let's pick back up on this, but we've got to take a break. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and show you guys during our little break. A video that Leaving Knox just put out. You want to go ahead and introduce that video?
Yeah. So it's this video is from a show that we just did not too long ago. I was gonna say this is from the Electric River Jam. I think he was thinking of something else. But this is a video from the Electric River Jam. This is just a live video of us playing a cover that we do called "Float On." It's by Modest Mouse. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Which is one of my favorite songs ever.
Love that.
This is a great video to capture the raw energy of what Leaving Knox brought to the table for Electric River Jam. We'll be glad to see you guys back next year.
Heck yeah.
And we'll get back into your backstory right after this.
This is for all my psychedelic rock fans out there tonight. I love you too, Kino. I love you too, Austin. I love all of you. Man. I'm hot. Sure, we can be best friends. You know it's singing, come on. Sometimes that's it. I wear my mouth over a bit. So what could I say? It all, it was all okay. Sing it with us. Sing it. And we all float on, okay. You see those hands? And we all float on, okay. Yeah, that's all I can see. And we'll all float on, okay. And we'll all float on anyway. We'll things you're making so every last time with that stuff. It was worth it just to learn some style. I guess the news on the album comes when it lives. So we'll look this way and all the best. We both got followed on exactly the same day. Don't worry about who loses out the race. Go! And when I float
Yeah. So hey, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that live video from the Electric River Jam. I can't plug Electric River Jam enough. We're trying to make some stuff happen.
Yep.
Here in Vincent's. All the proceeds from that go to next year's event, and also they go towards a scholarship for some lucky young man or young woman who would like to go to Vincent's University for any types of arts, really. I think it's for audio recording. That's through First City Music. Check out their music festival. It's coming up October the 13th, 14th, and 15th, or something, maybe, whatever weekend is around.
Isn't that the Evan Twitty Foundation?
Yeah, and it's for the Evan Twitty Scholarship, and he was an amazing musician. That passed away. We can't speak highly enough about him. So anyway, let's get back into it. We were talking about your youth pastor blatantly ignoring you.
Yeah, we were. So like I said, I literally looked her in the eyes, and she turned away and like completely ignored me, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's very godly
and then her husband was with her, and he kind of like walked in behind her, and I like tried to get his, tried to talk to him too, and he did the same exact thing. And that, like, as a 15-year-old kid they shunned me, and and I later found out that they were informed, and a lot of people were informed not to talk to us, it was literally like, it was like breaking Amish, you step away out of an Amish community and get shunned, it felt like that.
What did that lead? I mean, around the same time you're becoming an amazing musician, you already have some raw natural talent, which isn't, you have to cultivate it. It's not just something you're born with and you become famous.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because most people are just like, oh, you're born with that talent. You're so lucky to have this talent. I'm like, no, I'm not so lucky to have this talent. Like, I've worked my ass off to get here.
I was actually talking to Big D last when we interviewed Big D, and he was kind of asking me, he said, yeah, they've got a lot of talent, but there's a lot more. I mean, he's old school. You know, he's been doing this music thing for a while.
Yeah.
Shout out Big D. We love you, dude.
Big D.
And I was telling him that you actually drill. You do vocal drills.
I practice. I try to practice.
You don't just sing songs, you actually do drills.
I'll do vocal techniques and stuff like that.
Can you walk us through some of those? 'Cause I'm curious.
There's a
Fuck it, dude.
All right. There's this one that I do. It's called a siren drill, but you start with like a hum, and you start down like at the bottom, like the lowest octave,
register.
the lowest register that you can go, and you go up to the highest register that you can go. So it's like.
Just a hum?
Yeah.
Kind of like vibrates your vocal cords?
So pretty much what that does is it helps you figure out where the break is in your vocal. Okay. So like you always hear people like say like you have your diaphragm, your chest voice, and your head voice.
Okay.
Well, that
head
drill,
voice, huh?
your head voice, that helps you, that's your falsetto and all that stuff, like the higher notes and all that, that's your head voice. So pretty much what that is doing is it's teaching you where to put the air in your body so that you can hit that note at the right pitch and on the right key without having separation or a break in your voice.
Without a crack.
So like if I'm going, I'm in my chest voice now, but I started, that's my diaphragm.
Starting at your stomach, moving up.
Bringing the air up. So
Let's try it.
You ready?
Try it.
Okay. see right there, you're not familiar with where to go next. So your body, you're
my throat.
yeah. So
It did feel like it went.
you're staying. So what you just did is you went from your diaphragm to your chest,
Okay.
and you don't understand how to go from your chest to your head. And literally all it is it's just where the air comes out of. So it's like when you are singing out of your diaphragm
It's like
and
a
your
muscle
chest.
concentration area.
It's all it
so
is.
you can imagine it as like a ball of energy.
Well, think about
moving
it.
up.
Think about it this way. You know how you build muscle memory for playing guitar because you play guitar. So like building muscle memory or like with an instrument and stuff like that. It's the same exact thing with your vocal cords. So like you're constantly trying to build up that muscle memory of where the air is supposed to come out. So like when you're bringing the air from your diaphragm and your chest, it's open throat. Like your throat should always be like really fully open, but whenever you get to those higher registers, your air starts becoming more condensed and it becomes a little bit tighter. So then that way, like when you push out less air, the less air you're pushing out, the higher you can get. Pretty much.
Less
so it's
air.
like when they say
So you're reserving your air.
pretty much like so like whenever
We'll try
they
it one
say
more time.
whenever they say your head voice,
Yeah.
it's because the air is coming out of your sinus cavity, like
Oh, no
your
shit.
nasal. It's
Okay.
you're starting to sing out of your nose.
I never even considered that.
Yeah, most people like whenever because I just started working with Chris Robertson from Blackstone Cherry down in Kentucky, and he's got some musicians that he's been bringing through there, some artists that he's been producing and stuff, and he'll have me come in and give them like a little vocal lesson and let them do like some drills and stuff like that and get them warmed up just
Before-
to get them
before the
ready
studio
before they
time.
do their studio stuff. Yeah, so
Does this work?
I would.
Mayonnaise.
I don't know what that does, but
I just always heard that.
mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
I mean, it can help like with your, your runs
You know what I
going
do
back and
before I'm
forth.
about to sing? I go.
That might help a little bit.
No, but anyway, back to some serious shit. Like,
But yeah, like it's with those higher registers and shit, like you're literally just condensing the air a little bit more, and you're starting to sing more out of your nasal cavity and your nose. Yeah.
I can see why they call it a siren drill.
Yeah. But there's that, and then there's the buzzing. There's a buzz drill, which is literally the same exact thing, but it's you're buzzing your mouth. So.
Yeah, I don't think I can get that.
Yeah. So but literally, it took me. Yeah.
I'll lose it. At the top.
It took me forever to figure out how to get from my chest to my head voice. So, but
How many
once
people do you think are listening to this right now going? I guarantee they're
Hopefully-
sitting- and now they're like,
hopefully-
oh shit, they're talking
yeah,
about me.
hopefully every single
See you
one.
fuckers.
We see you. But yeah. But yeah, no, it's I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do, man. There's a lot of things that I do, like with the guitar. Like there's a chord that I'll play, and I literally just hold the same shape and go all the way up the neck, like 12 frets, and then come all the way back down. And it's literally just like a la drill, like a la or lay or e, just constantly like those different sounds, so that you can get used to how you're supposed to sing it. And it just helps you develop that muscle memory, so that like whenever you go to sing these really hard songs that have like a lot of really intricate, complex, complexities to them and
Yeah,
stuff.
dude. When you were at the Electric River Jam, you guys did a Foo Fighters song, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. I think
Everlong?
we did. No, we did The Pretender, and we
Yeah,
also
that was
did.
it,
I think we
Pretender.
also did Learn to Fly.
So my first band that I was ever actually performed with was called Mighty Dawson. It was with John Mansfield and Chris Ruby and Levi Wyatt. Anyway, I was just a singer.
Yeah.
And we did that Foo Fighters song. God, I can't. Anyway, Foo Fighters, you hear them on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Oh yeah, they're great, man.
But, dude, to sing those songs is a workout, son.
Oh,
I
dude.
remember by the end of the
Dude.
song, I had to cut out a few verses. I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I ran out.
That's
of
how,
juice.
like, there will be sometimes whenever I'll look at the guys and I'll be like, we can't do Pretender.
Yeah.
We can't do Pretender tonight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already almost blown out. Like,
And
my
it-
voice is almost done.
And it
Like,
blows my mind that Dave Grohl is like
I don't know
started
how
off
he
as
does
just
it.
a drummer, you know?
I don't know how he does that shit every like when they go on tour and shit. Like I don't know how he does that 5
Multiple
nights out of the
days
week.
in a row.
Like like I don't know how he does it like 5-6 nights out of the week.
The only explanation is that he's sitting at home just jamming all day long.
Well, see, he's one of those ones where he doesn't really do an awful lot of like vocal lessons and stuff like that. He just freaking goes for it.
Screams.
He's like he's literally like Kurt. Like Kurt Cobain did the same shit. They I remember watching an interview where Dave and I think it was Pep Schmear, is that the Dave and Pep Schmear were talking about Kurt. And they were saying how that's such a funny name. I love that. It's a great stage name. But they were talking about Kurt and how he was blowing his voice out, and he kept blowing his voice out like on these sets and stuff. And so the label paid to give him vocal lessons, like get him a vocal coach. Well, they said that Kurt came back from his first vocal lesson and said, "Fuck that shit. I'm never doing that again. That was the dumbest waste of time I have ever done in my entire life." And the crazy thing is he was actually like, as far as pitch and control and all that stuff goes, he was really, really talented. Like, and the fact that he didn't do those drills and he didn't like practice like how I do and stuff blows my mind. Because like, and the way that he was able to still tour and like play music live, that's extremely raw talent, man. Like
but I mean, I think another appeal of Kurt Cobain is that he was a representative of all the depressed people out there that feel marginalized by society. I mean, everybody knows that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got another question for you on the mechanics part.
Okay, what's up?
So as a musician, I have a lot of problems covering certain songs and singing them while I'm playing guitar, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I know that you're pretty decent at playing guitar and singing at the same time.
Yeah.
What are what can you do to become better at playing guitar and singing at the same time? What do you do? I mean, I know you just sing for Leaving Knox,
the biggest recommendation I can give is just practice.
What, that muscle memory do work?
It's literally just building up that muscle memory over time to a point where you finally, it's almost like you get into a flow state. And you get into this point where when you're playing, it just starts.
It's a meditation.
Exactly. It's like you're in a meditative state. So it just it just starts coming to you and it starts going.
That makes a lot of sense because they say when you're in a meditative state, your left and right hemisphere, they run together.
Yeah, they simultaneously work together.
There's a flow, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of my experience with meditation and even hypnosis, I've gotten into hypnosis a little bit, self-hypnosis. And what you have to do is you need to convince the right brain to go straight to the left brain.
Yeah.
It's like basically you're turning off a valve. And I've heard a lot of musicians say things like when they're in the zone, it's like they're channeling something bigger than them.
Yes.
It's like a spirit, you know?
See, and I truly believe that too,
I used to feel that when I was freestyling, but since I got sober, I'm getting better now, but just like you said, just a lot of practice.
It's a lot of practice, man. It's a lot of grinding and just trying to, more or less, just trying to figure out what works best for you. Because I could sit here and try to tell you like exactly how you need to do it and exactly the way it needs to be done, but I would be bullshitting you. If I was to sit here and try to tell you exactly how you need to do it, I really would be bullshitting you and wasting your time, just because like I don't know exactly what you need to do in order to make it click. Because what I did in order to make it click for me was just taking the time to practice till eventually I finally got it, you know? But it just like I said, it just takes time, you know? It just takes.
So let's switch gears and kind of head into your freestyle, or not your freestyle, your solo stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have some things in the works? I mean, as far
I can't
believe we didn't bring a fucking guitar today.
Yeah, no shit. I didn't even think about it.
I would have freestyled with you.
Yeah.
You make me comfortable when because remember when we used to jam, we'd be in the living room and I'd be drinking. Yeah, we can do that if you want. We'll do it at the end. We'll do a separate video.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So anyway, I would get into this state. I'll go back to what I was saying about feeling like I'm channeling something.
Yeah.
It's not so much like I was channeling a spirit or anything crazy like that.
You might be.
Who knows? But I was like going right into my subconscious, and then I have this knack for rhyming, making things rhyme, and So I mean, where are you at with your solo stuff right now? Are you doing that?
So yeah,
I loved you when you did that.
Yeah. I got.
You guys' style of music, Leaving Knox, isn't exactly my style.
Yeah.
I appreciate the talent and the awesomeness of when, like, especially at the River Jam, you got the crowd work aspect down.
Yeah.
Everybody in the band is multi-talented, confident on
Oh
stage.
yeah.
I never really saw Mitch play before, but excellent bass player.
Oh yeah, he's
and
great,
he's in
man.
charge while he's up there.
He's a hell of a
Big old
showman.
bear.
Oh yeah, he's a hell of a showman, man.
Everybody
He knows how to put on a show.
Carlisle the Octopus is just
Oh yeah, he's always freaking. If there's like a little, like, whenever he goes into like a little break in between stuff, he's twirling it in his fingers or throwing it up and like catching it and freaking going back in, like
Never
doing some
drops
doing some crazy shit. I wouldn't say never. I've seen him drop it a few times, but I've also been playing with him for like 3 years. You know, we've played a lot of shows together. So.
Dude, I watched him play Moby Dick.
Oh man, dude, that would be a fun one to cover.
That was like 7-8 years ago. Too,
Probably
so
was
they're at
that
the Pavilion.
with California Kings or California Kings? Yeah, dude, he's been in so many groups, dude. Like, I mean, he's been.
No, that wasn't even California Kings.
Was it something other?
I don't remember, dude.
There, he's.
It was Jared Lee and Hatcher. But I don't think Climber was playing with him. So
it may have been, yeah.
Oh, it was Once a Gunfighter.
Once a Gunfighter, yeah. I was gonna say.
I've seen all these guys play so much. Like, we've got a really cool group of friends that.
Yeah.
I feel very honored to. I mean, one of the ways I contribute to you and all of our friends that play music, because I play a little bit, but only at parties and stuff, is by doing this podcast and throwing the Electric River Jam and just trying to contribute.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. Just
But
trying
anyway,
to give back to
what
that.
I was asking you, your solo stuff.
Oh yeah, so right now I'm in the works of messing with a couple of different ideas. I have, like, me personally, I have probably about 10 to 15 songs that I are in the works that I could go to the studio and start recording like tomorrow. But my main focus, thank you, man. My main focus lately has just been the band and trying to, get stuff like situated with the band. And like, because we just got all this music recorded and we have a bunch of songs that we're dropping now and just like starting to get more into that. So that has been mainly my main focus, my main focus. We got the mad scientist back here. He's got to get the TV going, but
Get your lab coat.
but yeah.
Professional atmosphere.
But yeah, no, right now I'm in the works of here before too much longer. I'm gonna start going over to Tyler's studio and recording some of my own stuff just so that I can start putting it out, because I've had a lot of people who have been asking me like, hey, when are you gonna put out a song? Like, when are you gonna put out something like just you?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people asking me that for years now, and I just like.
I don't think that takes away from Leaving Knox at all.
No, it doesn't.
Stronger stuff back.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if anything, it might help out more. We could benefit from both. So.
I'd like to see Tyler Carlisle do some jazz.
Oh, dude.
I don't know if that's really his style.
I don't know if it's necessarily his style either, but I guarantee you he could play the hell out of
I think
it.
he'd love it once he got into it.
Dude, he could.
He might do it already.
He might. I as far as like on his own, I don't know if he practices that kind of stuff. He
I gotta
might.
get T-Bag on the podcast.
Yeah, you need to, dude.
T-Bag, I'm calling you out, bro.
We're gonna get you out here, bro.
What a professional.
We're gonna get
he
you
is,
out here, dude.
Honestly, he's fucking a pro.
He really is,
When we
man.
were throwing the show, he held it down steady the whole time. He was
Yeah.
He was sort of the secret mind behind the machine.
Yeah.
Back there,
Yeah.
But,
Well, I mean, he did a lot besides just playing in the bands. Like, he played in, 2 or 3 different groups?
Oh, yeah.
He played in 2. I think he played in ours, and then he played in Memory Motel.
Yeah.
So, and then he also was helping run sound. He was also helping with like the stage setup and all that stuff. Like
him and Mike Stump.
I was gonna say him and Stump. Like, he was doing all that stuff with Stump and Jeff, his dad. Like, they were all doing
his
a
dad's
bunch
a
of
pro,
stuff.
too.
Jeff's awesome, dude. Jeff, if you're watching this, I love you, man. Freaking,
Mike Stump,
he's a great guy. Mike, yeah,
great show.
you're a great dude too, man.
So, one thing I like to ask every guest, because
Yeah.
we kind of ran through that pretty quick, my bad. It's
You're
all
good.
over the place today.
You're good, man.
If there was one moment that you could say when your childhood ended, what would it be? It's something I've been trying to ask every guest.
Damn, when my childhood ended.
Freud in on you real quick.
When my childhood ended when I turned 17. I me and my dad had a falling out, and we're good now. We're in good terms now and stuff, and I love him to death. But we had a falling out, and we had a bunch of stuff that he was going through a rough spot, man, dealing with a bunch of stuff, and I got the back end of a lot of it. I just I had a lot of heat put on me, and we have since talked about it, and he's apologized to me for everything that happened, and everybody, and I forgave him, and like I said, I love him, and I'm glad he's doing better. But we had that falling out, and I moved out, and I moved in with my aunt. And that's whenever, as far as being a kid, just going out and having a good time and enjoying time with my friends and stuff, I was like, yep, I got to make money now. I got to grow up because I got car insurance I got to pay for. Now I have to deal with my own health insurance because my dad took me off of their insurance whenever I was 17. And I stayed with my aunt for about 6-7 months, and then love her to death, but she kicked me out, which was my fault. It was my fault why I got kicked out. I was a troublesome 17-year-old, okay, and I was doing some stupid stuff. Yeah, I know. That was around the time that I moved into Jake's house out in Decker. Yeah, because I was living out there. Yeah, dude, that was great. I loved living out there. I miss white balls, bubba jubba. But no, that was around the time that I had to grow up, man. I couldn't be a kid anymore. I couldn't dick around like I used to. I had to take things way more seriously, and that's whenever I just started grinding to make money and just focusing on that. And I also around that time I kind of lost touch with music for a little while. I kind of lost it. Yeah, I kind of lost it for a little bit because I was just predominantly worried about working. That was my main concern. I was like, I gotta make money. And then I got to a point whenever I was about 20, 21, where I was like, money's not everything. Money's not the world. Money just gets me food on my table and helps me survive in this world. But if I didn't have any money at all, I could still survive and I'd still be fine. I was like, and
people need to hit that bottom line so they realize what life's really about.
Exactly.
I've done it several times just to be sure.
Yeah. You can never be too sure. Yeah. See, that was one thing I will say. I'm grateful that I never went down that. I'm grateful I never went down that road. You
never went hard in the pain.
No, never really dabbled in all that.
It's surprising because a lot of people use what you and I have been through collectively
as a it's like a crutch, It's
to get high and
mess
around.
And I easily could have. I easily could have. It was all around me all the time. I had access.
I would have never given it to you.
Oh, I know. I had access constantly, man. I had people constantly trying to get me to I remember one time I was sitting at one of my buddies' houses, and I was by myself, playing Fortnite or some shit on the TV. I was just sitting there, had been smoking some of the devil's lettuce, and was chilling there. And this guy walks in. I won't say his name, but I've known him for a long time, and I love him to death. But this is a funny story. He walks in, and he's like, "Hey, man, you want to smoke a bowl?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah, let's smoke a bowl." Tony Bologna. So, so we're sitting there, and he's like, "You want to smoke a bowl, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." So he comes in, and he starts getting everything ready, and I'm playing the game, and out of the corner of my eye, I see him holding up something, and he has his lighter, and he's lighting underneath it, and I'm like, he's underneath the bowl, and I'm like, out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? And then he taps me on the shoulder, he goes to pass it to me, and I grab a hold of it, and it's a glass rose, and it was crack. He was trying to get me to smoke crack with him. I was like, oh, no, dude, I'm sorry, bro. I was like, I don't do that. He's like, oh, bro, I thought you were cool. I was like, I'm cool, dude. I don't care if you do. By all means, if you want to, go right ahead. But I was like, but I'm fine, man. I was like, I don't need it. I'm good. But that was, I don't know. I'm thankful that, in all honesty, it was because of how I grew up. That's why I saw, my brother battled with addiction really bad, and he's doing really good right now. He's in rehab and getting his life together. I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. Casey, if you're watching this, I love you, man. But he's doing really good for himself. But I grew up watching him struggle with addiction, and I grew up watching my dad struggle with addiction, and even I hate to call her out, but my mom a little bit too, you know, like it was just something that I watched them over time. And there was a lot of like my uncles too, like the majority of my family all struggled with being addicts. And
What do you think,
it was,
what do you think is like the common denominator? Do you think it's just poverty?
See, it could be, but at the same time, there are many people that I know that came from wealth and came from really wealthy families, and they're just as bad as some of the people I grew up with. You know, like I mean, I know.
Really not one factor.
I don't know. I think it's just it's. I think it more or less falls in a line of not knowing how to cope with your life, or not knowing how to cope with what's going on in the environment that you're in, and using that as just a crutch to help get you by, or like using it as just like, and then once you start it, I mean, it's called addiction for a reason, man. It's hard to get out of, you know, like it's very hard to get out of.
It's hard to recognize it.
Yeah.
Until you're in it.
Exactly. It's extremely, and that's a sad truth about most people that get hooked on stuff, is that they don't realize it until it's.
People want to call them weak.
Yeah.
Or weak of spirit or constitution, but
I don't even think it's necessarily that.
It's a lot of different things, man.
Yeah.
I'm honestly like wore out with trying to figure out what it was. I'm doing good now, whatever.
Well, see, me personally,
I worry about those that are out there still.
I think, me personally, just from growing up around it and having so many family members that were that struggled with that so much, I think it's a disease. I honestly do think it's a disease. I think it starts as a choice, but once you get into it and it starts taking over, it becomes a disease, man. Because it literally you're altering the chemistry inside of your brain. You're altering your chemical makeup. So it turns into something that is like, I mean, it's extremely hard to get out of. And like people, I always get into arguments with people about that, and they're like, oh no, it's a choice. Like they screw, they're like, oh no, they did that to themselves. Like that's their own damn fault, you know. And I'm like, yeah, but have you ever really known someone? Like, have you really known someone that's been through that, or watched someone? From all of those different levels and stuff, you know. And it's, but yeah, no shit, man.
It's hard to pull them out. Like, me and your brother used to party together.
Yeah.
And then I saw him after I got sober, and I tried to like go up and talk to him, and it's not just him. And there's a million people that I see, and I can't even try to help them because I don't want to be on my pulpit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, man, we got to take another break, but we're gonna come back and we'll talk a little bit longer, and then I'll walk it into Austin's gonna play a solo song, right?
I guess.
You know what you're gonna play?
I have no idea.
You'll figure it out.
I have no idea.
We'll be right back.
Don't know if you hear me now. If you wanna let me fall to the ground, but darling, will you hear me out? 'Cause I'm sick of falling in love with women that don't care about me. And I'm sick of falling for people that don't give a damn.
You always running away.
Tears falling from my face, feel lost out of space.
Outside, away. What I could do for you when you left me sad and blue again.
And if you wanna come and fuck up my life again, and if you wanna wreck it for me, my friend,
You ain't no friend. Farewell.
I'm sick of only falling in love for women that don't care.
Nobody seems to care
for tell.
Why can't you just try to get down?
Why don't you really care? Why don't you really care?
Why don't you give a good goddamn?
So sick of all of it. I'm so sick of all of it.
My shoes will carry me all the way, that's fine. My soul is worn out. I do my best not to shout when family is around.
Family.
Knocking again on my door. I can't take this one time more. I'm gonna put that whore in her place. Oh, I should have said that. Here we go. Another fall down a deep dark hole. I gotta find another way to live. Find another way to live my heart to someone who deserves it. To someone who really gives a shit. If they see me cry, I fall around, I fall down on my ground. Trying to stay grounded, take my shoes off, walk barefoot through the grass, and try to smoke another motherfucking joint so I can chill and feel like I'm really real, like I know I did once before I lost my appeal. And I got caught up in the powder and glass and smoked up until they took my ass and put me back in the clink again. Counting days till I get free again.
I'm sick of falling in love with women that don't give a damn. So sick of falling in love. 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 So fucking sick. So sick of falling in love. I'm so sick of falling in love. Oh, so sick of falling in love. So sick of falling
For your shit.
So sick of falling in love. So sick of falling in love. I'm so sick of falling in love. So sick of falling in love. I'm so sick of falling in love. So sick of falling in love. I'm sick of falling in love.
Yeah! Back with my boy Spring, we haven't done that successfully in a long
It's been a long time. Did you record that? Okay, cool. I was
That's
hoping.
going to be today's musical performance. I wasn't planning on being a part of it. Hey, I know I'm not the best, but I'm hanging out with the real G's, so I had to put out an effort.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were little, dude,
Oh my God,
we
man.
used to get it on for hours at night. Well, not home. Not home.
Not the way you're thinking.
Yeah, you wish.
Uh-huh.
You blind studs. No, but yeah, dude, I always loved doing that with you, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
about as far as my. Maybe someday I'll put out some bangers on.
You freaking should, man. I love your freaking voice, dude. I love your
When you get
tone.
on stage, shit changes. You know.
Yeah, but you gotta find see, I used to feel the same way, but I finally found that that presence of whenever
crossover.
whenever I play live, it takes me back to the times whenever it was me and you and Austin, just sitting around, jamming out and stuff like that. It takes me back. Now it takes me all back to all that stuff. Before it wasn't really like that, but I finally at a point where it's that's it. It makes me
You just
reminisce
gotta
on all that.
composure until
Yeah.
it's just like anything. If you have post-traumatic stress disorder or something. I mean, these are two terribly different things, but it's kind of like when you almost die in a car. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like if you keep putting yourself on stage. I'm imagining this.
Yeah.
That eventually you forget that the audience is there until you realize they're there again when you're in the moment.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like the podcast. When I first started doing it, I was nervous about it, and now I just forget the cameras are even there when you're deep. Me and you are
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm just not good at recording. But anyway, we're not talking about me. We're here to talk about you. So I wanted to, before we wrap this up, because we're getting near like hour and some change, which is going to be our longest episode. But where are you at? Like, I know you had the past with the Pentecost church, and like, where are you at spiritually? That's just something I like to ask.
Spiritually, right now I'm at like, I'm very deep into the manifestation spirituality. So I'm deep into like the, it's almost like I'm extremely agnostic in my beliefs. I'm a very...
Like as far as you mean, you know that you don't know anything?
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I know for sure that I don't know shit.
I know love is real.
Yeah, I know that love
Whether
is
it's biological.
Yeah, I know that love is real and it's a driving force behind, a lot of things. But
it's a good driving force compared to the other motivations in this world.
yeah,
I'll say that.
like greed and pride and all that shit. Yeah, like it's
Domination.
like I'm at a point now where I'm mainly, as far as my spiritual journey goes, I'm at an awareness of what I actually am. Like of what, like, because I have the belief as a entity, as a consciousness. So like, I've been telling people, like, because I've had this conversation with people before, because they ask me like, what do you believe in? Like, what do you believe? And what I believe is that we all have this thing that is called a soul, or what they like to call a soul, or other people call it consciousness. Okay, so we're all conscious, right? Well, what is consciousness? Consciousness is a form of energy. A form of energy and energy can never be created or destroyed. It can only be harnessed, right? Yeah. So like we can't actually like just make energy out of thin air. You have to harness energy. You have to create something that pulls energy out of the air and pulls it out of the ground that we're on and everything. So my belief is that since we are conscious and we are a form of an energy that can never be created or destroyed, it's almost like what I believe that every single one of us are God. Like, that's what I believe. And I almost have this feeling that it's like, there's a TV again. I have this feeling that like we're all connected through consciousness and we're all connected through energy. And energy is always existing and is always there. And whenever we die, like our consciousness just goes back into that energy. When we're born into that energy field. Like we're constantly a part of that energy. So I believe that, I believe that we are a part of something that will never end and will always keep continuing to be. And it's like, I've tapped into that the past couple of years, and ever since I like started tapping into it, things have been happening. Like things have been happening for my career, my band's career, like just in my life in general. And that's why I was talking about before I got into all that, manifestation. Like the whole manifestation side is realizing that, well, if you are God, you can do anything you want to do. You can do literally anything.
Well, you're a part of God,
you're a part. Well, like,
well,
I mean, but if you are a part of God, are you not God?
Right.
I mean, like, it's the same paradox. It's just like...
This brings me back to a point that I had a while back when I was studying philosophy. Do cells have souls? Because there's...
Well, they're a part of the energy, yeah. And they're, I mean, like our body is made up of, like, all these trillions of, like, microscopic cells that make this one big form of energy that is going around doing different things, like we're this machine of flesh that is constantly going around trying to trying to do things and stuff. It's like it's crazy that me and you are even able to sit here and have this conversation, like,
and you take it another level and look at all the cameras and that.
And we're like
time
and we're recording a presence and a moment and an energy that is happening so that we can affect other people's energy and their lives. Positively is what we're going for anyway.
Freestyle might have turned him off. Just because of me, not because of him, though. But. Yeah, dude. I mean, I
Yeah.
agree. I think energy can never begin or end. It's always just been.
Yeah,
And
it's always
it's-
been
but,
and always will
there's
be,
a lot of
you know?
people out there, like, not to put anybody down and whatever makes you feel good and helps
Yeah.
you sleep at night, but
Yeah.
but no one knows.
Yeah, and see that's and that's why like I'm always hesitant to tell people what I think because I always start it.
Change tomorrow.
Yeah, that's how I am. Like I always start it with I don't know. I always start it with I don't know what's going on.
You just sound
I
like
don't know
Jeremy
what's
Clarkson
happening.
said
Like
that.
yeah.
Like I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
Jeremy
know, man, but like, you know, like
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, Spring, I think that's a good place to end it. I
Heck
love
yeah,
you,
dude.
brother.
I love you too, man. Heck
I'm
yeah.
glad we met back in the day.
Me too,
Told
brother.
you this kid was gonna make it. I was fucking right. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell
Fucking
yeah.
right. I'm kidding. We're not gonna get all trill on you. But man, thank you guys for coming by. Can I kick it? Another successful episode.
Yep.
I hope everyone out there is blessed. If you want to find out how to get a hold of this guy to book a gig, he does bar mitzvahs and birthday parties. No, he can either do solo or Leaving Knox would be a good call for any ridge or any birthday party, whatever you got going on.
Yeah.
Hit him up and they can reach you how? Why don't you just go ahead and
You
plug
can
yourself?
reach us through Facebook or Instagram at Leaving Knox, or you can reach me via Facebook or Instagram through Austin Sprinkle. There's also our email. You can reach us at leavingknox at gmail.com, or if you want to contact me about doing some solo stuff, you can reach me at austinsprinkle1998 at gmail.com. But yeah, that's how they can get a hold of me. So also, if you guys wouldn't mind, we just put out a single last week. It's called The Needle. I'm going to give them a little link or something that they can put in the description, all that stuff, so you guys can check that out. But
Get it done.
yeah.
All right, and as always, may you be well.
Yes.
May you stay kind, be humble as possible. I love y'all. Peace. See you next time.
Peace and hair grease.
Yeah, damn it.